Hello guys, so if you notice, there are lots of videos out there since the last patch came out explaining you how the attachments work now, which weapons you should use, which loadout is the most overpowered one, you know, the one which will make your gameplay easier. Those are all great videos, but they don't really explain you why you should use them and on which situations, on which playstyles those loadouts fit better. So with this series, my goal will be to give my personal tips on which loadouts you should use according to different playstyles. So on this first video I'm gonna be focusing on a really controversial playstyle on Battlefield, which is close quarters running and gunning. People often say that Call of Duty is all about running and gunning and that shouldn't happen on Battlefield. Well, yes, Call of Duty is mostly about running and gunning, but running and gunning in Battlefield has nothing to do with running and gunning on Call of Duty. Completely different for many aspects. I mean, the maps are different, the time to kill is different, the recoil it's much different. There is also the suppression now, which is worse than ever. So you have to have lots of variables into account before deciding to go on a run and gun playstyle. It also fits lots of maps. It's not only useful in team deathmatch, squad deathmatch. Running and gunning is effective on most maps, even on Kyrgyzstan and Caspian border. There are specific zones on the map which are really tight, and if you stick to those places, to those flags, for example the hilltop on Caspian border or the gas station, those are really close quarters combats if you think about it. So this playstyle fits perfectly on whichever maps you want to. Of course it's stronger on maps such as Siene Crossing, Grand Bazaar, Theran Highway, Operation Metroll. This loadout is better, it fits better on those maps because the maps are really tight overall. But you can still use this loadout on bigger maps, but it won't be as effective. There is a better loadout for running and gunning on such maps, but we'll go over that on the next video. Also, for you players out there that are really skeptical about close quarters running and gunning being a useful gameplay style on Battlefield, I will prove that later on. I'm not going to do this on the video today because my purpose with this video is to show you that the loadout itself actually works. So we're gonna start off with the Famas. So when you pick a weapon to fit your playstyle, you really gotta pay attention to its specs. For example, if you want a weapon to play on close quarters, running and gunning, you need to pay attention to basically two things. First, the amount of rounds it unleashes per minute. So the Famas has 1000 rounds, which is awesome. Second, you need to look for the recoil. If you see the recoil is more than 0.4 or 0.5 from both sides or only to one of them, that weapon screams close quarters firing from the hip all over. Okay, so you gotta pick carefully. On this case, this weapon is a perfect example of a close quarters weapon for firing from the hip. The only two flaws it has is the fact that the magazine can only take up to 26 bullets and the reload time takes 3.2 seconds, so which is a little bit, but that won't be a problem, and I will explain you why later on the video. I'll also be using the RDS scope because sometimes, I mean, I don't know, 10 out of 100 you have to aim down your sights, and the Famas has the worst iron sights on the game, so that's why I picked this scope this sight right here. The foregrip is also amongst my choices, basically because when I aim down my sights, those rare occasions when I do so, the foregrip will give me a slight help, and it's better than having nothing, so that's why it's on my list of choices. I'm gonna also be using the tactical light, and I will explain you why later on. Moving on to the other gadgets and specializations, I'm gonna be using the Glock 18. I'm gonna explain you why later on. Also, I'm gonna be using the smoke instead of the medkit, and then I'm gonna use the squad suppression as a specialization. So while I let the video roll, I'm gonna explain the reason behind my choices. First of all, let's start with the tactical light. I chose the tactical light because this weapon will blind your opponents, but also, and most importantly, it will give them random deviation, which is really important in this game. And it's a complementary gadget to the Famas, because since the Famas has a really high rate of fire, you will be firing from the hip, you will be missing a fair amount of bullets as well. But it's okay, you're supposed to miss those bullets because you will inflict random deviation that way. So you have two things giving your enemies random deviation: the tactical light and the suppression effect. So this is why the tactical light is a must with this setup. The other choice I made was the Glock as a sidearm. The reason for this is that your Famas only has the capacity to have 26 bullets in a magazine, which is bad. So if you use the Glock 16, so whenever you run out of bullets, you just have to pull your Glock, and you have more than enough bullets to drop one or two guys if they're at close range. So it's really important that you pick a weapon that is capable of full auto. One more thing, I chose the smoke, and this is really important. The smoke is one of the key aspects of running and gunning on Battlefield 3. As I said before, running and gunning is completely different in this game because there are lots of open areas. This map is a good example. I'm running and gunning on a map that have lots of open areas. I can die from, I don't know, a gazillion different places. So this is where the smoke comes in. Sometimes when I'm sure that there are lots of activity in a specific spot, I will smoke my way there, okay? Because no one will see me coming. Because if they see me from a distance, that's when this loadout will fail, okay? You can't pick targets from a distance, so you smoke first, make sure they don't see you coming, and then you get close to them and finish them off. It's really important to use a smoke. So the last thing is the suppression specialization. As I said before, you are already suppressing with the tactical light, with the bullets you will miss from your weapon by firing from the hip, and now you have this specialization. So you will inflict a huge amount of random deviation in the shortest amount of time, which is really important, especially since the latest patch. Now it's a matter of who can suppress and inflict the biggest amount of random deviation. So with this loadout, you will be giving random deviation in three different ways. So it's really important. One thing though, with this config, with this setup, especially with this playstyle, you will die a lot. Okay, that's normal. But don't worry, you are supposed to kill more than you die, and you will do it. It's just a matter of practice and getting used to this playstyle. So as I said before, this playstyle, lots of people don't think it has its way on Battlefield, but it actually has. This isn't the perfect example because it's team deathmatch. There's no really teamwork going on here. It's just some random running and gunning. But the thing is, you can apply this type of gameplay on a conquest or rush game mode. I didn't do so because my point here is to prove that it actually works for fast target switching, running and gunning, unleashing bullets on 3 or 4 targets almost at the same time, and getting away with it. So this is why I pick a team deathmatch, because it's the fastest, quickest way to explain you guys and to show you guys how I mean by having the perfect setup for in-your-face running and gunning. As you noticed, I'm always moving around. You can't stop for a second here. That's why you don't need the medkit, because there's no time to heal. You either kill or get killed. Just keep moving all the time. It doesn't matter if someone is firing at you, just keep moving. One more thing, always stick around places that can have cover for you, you know. Tires, walls, fences, vehicles, containers. Always stick around places where no one has a clean shot at you, okay? It's really important. So this is a good example of how you should use the smoke. I know there's one guy there, is at me right now. I killed him. I know there's one more. There he is. So I make him go away, and someone killed me. Then I got revived, and I remember there's still one guy there, so I I pretend I'm running away, and then I stab him. It was pretty cool, especially because that guy tried to stop me before. So as you guys know, there are lots of times I get killed. As I said before, you're gonna die really often, but it will pay off, no worries. One more thing, whenever you're not flanking, make sure you smoke your way through the path you're taking, okay? It's really important. Right here, I knew there was other people there, that's why I smoked, so I had the time to kill this guy before they arrived. I still had time to reload and pick one more guy before I got killed, all because of the smoke. So instead of getting 1 kill or 0 kills, I got 2, which is great, all because of the smoke. You see, there are quite a few examples here of how bad this weapon works with aiming down the sights. So it's really a waste of time. Don't really bother unless you're positive no one is looking at you about to kill you. Then you can aim down your sights. But please don't do this too often, or this config won't work. So this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this was a helpful video. As you guys noticed, I got lots of kills with this setup. I actually finished first, so this is the proof that it actually works, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Please rate, comment, and please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Cheers.